Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense. Still got the rainbow, but you're clapping like a penguin.
Well,
One-armed Joe.
Yeah, that's okay.
What happened?
I block shots, dude. I block shots.
Oh,
Not
yeah?
the hockey podcast, but I block shots. We're in the finals of my D1 team. I also scored, if anyone asked. I'm actually...
Did you win?
We won. I didn't play the last period because I blocked shots. And it hurts.
You got injured?
I got injured. It was my own team shot. I probably got in the way of a goal, actually. But I scored a goal, so it canceled out. Yeah. So that's me, dude. But I got another
Rhode Island for Mother's Day.
Well, hold on, dude.
Oh.
The podcast
Sorry.
that sponsors my hockey team, Dirds, it's my Division 4 team. They also have finals today, but I don't think I can play now because I can't really grip things. So that's kind of a bummer. Could be the first championship the Dirds ever wins, and at that point, the ROI on our investment is definitely worth it. I say our, but don't worry, you're not roped into that. Well, kind of, because you're sponsoring Ken, who edits some of the videos, who I sent to my toxic girlfriend, and yes, dude, what does that mean? No one's gonna know, really. But I have a toxic girlfriend, if you know who that is. And wow, deep rabbit hole. Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Well, do we want to explain that rabbit hole or just gloss right over it?
You tell me. You're the listener.
It's me, you, and Krishna, the listeners of this podcast. We all know what you're talking about. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't like to go negative Nelly or gossip pod, even though we tend to do that.
It doesn't
every
have to be
episode.
negative Nelly. Other than the title Toxic Girlfriend. My first million, Sean Puri, he mentioned that he clips his basketball games the same way I clip my hockey games. And so I felt really excited because I felt seen. And so I sent him the clips that I make in text. I haven't gotten a response yet, but my toxic girlfriend.
Yeah, and he's toxic because you never know whether or not he's going to respond to you. So yeah, it's a group chat with five of us.
You're going negative. Yeah, there's a lot of us.
It's
mostly just me and Sean.
It's mostly just you.
It's mostly just me. Right.
And then Sean decides if he's going to respond to you or not. And I make side wagers in our other group chat, and so far I'm 2 for 2 on whether or not he's going to respond.
Yeah. Well, I try to stay positive. Because it's my girlfriend. Dude, I had a we went to Turkey and we called our group Gaze and Garem. It was 4 dudes, and Garem's like a place we went to, and so we called it Gaze and Garems. And I also captioned my Instagram post of the event Gaze and Garem, and now multiple people think I'm gay.
Well, like your family?
No, not. It's like tangential people that I haven't seen in a while, but it's like kind of sus. Just like, I don't know. It's not clearly. It's an inside joke as a caption, so it doesn't really make sense. So they take it very literally. And then I got rainbows everywhere.
They should listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went home for Mother's Day. That was cool.
Rainbow Man. Oh, yeah. And how is Rhode Island? Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Weather's sick. Chicago too, I assume.
Well,
conversationalist.
Let's get into it. No. Let's get into it. Talk about the weather in Chicago. My favorite topic. I was supposed to. Preamble.
Shit.
I was supposed to have my very first flight lesson this morning. And for an aspiring pilot, the first thing that what I'm getting qualified to do is called VFR flying, visual flight rules. It just means that you fly the plane visually. You don't rely on any of the instrumentation. That's the first class of flying a plane. So I've been monitoring the weather like a monkey with my head cut off. Yep. And unfortunately, the last 3 days we've had this gnarly fog come through every morning. So I've just been like refreshing, trying to get the fog to go away. But it won't.
even though you
So anyway,
refreshed all that time.
yeah, it doesn't. It
That
actually got
didn't.
worse. It was getting
Oh.
worse all morning.
Hmm.
Short, dude. Do you know what creates fog?
What creates fog?
Dew point hint. Dew point hint.
Well, I don't. Let me not get a hint first. So fog, it's water in the air. It's kind of clouds. Clouds are fog. Clouds are lower. Why would clouds be lower? Maybe the cold clouds. Cold clouds.
Yeah, actually, I think you're within striking distance. It's when the
Yeah, no.
temperature is very close to the dew point. The dew point is like where water condenses out of the air. And when those two things are really close, it basically just the air is just water.
Well,
Um,
but but fog is
the
just a cloud. Is fog a cloud?
yeah, it's like
So why
water
is the
vapor,
cloud
mist, cloud
on the
stuff.
ground? Because you just told me how clouds work.
Right.
At dew point,
Well,
normally they're a couple thousand feet in the air, though. Why is it low?
yeah. So why are they really low? It might have to do with the. It might
Dude.
have to do with the ground temperature.
Oh, making assumptions. Maybe your book, 100,000 Whys,
Hey,
would help with
easy.
that. Oh,
Okay, so I get up at 5:45 for my flight at 7 a.m. I'm refreshing like a banshee, trying to make the fog go away. And in order to figure out VFR, to take it back, in order to figure out the meteorological conditions on whether or not you can fly, you have to go to like 6 different websites. You go to the aviationweather.gov for the METARs and the TAF. That's like what the airports put out is the current thing, and you can look at weather there. But then you go to this thing called Sky Vector to like see if the airport's operating or not, whatever. And then I found, and this is good for domain, dude. I found a website that compiles all of it.
mm,
And that website is called windy.com.
windy.com.
And windy.com, unfortunately, was still showing fog, but it's actually the other websites don't even show fog, but Windy does. And I had to call the flight off, but I'm scheduled to go tomorrow morning too. So it's supposed to be foggy tomorrow as well. But I put you onto windy.com, dude.
Well, dude,
And
the
is Evan
thing,
Spiegel?
Evan Spiegel really liked windy.com. Um, dude, when you add, like, because you could just be wind.com, but windy,
Ah.
it's just makes you feel at home, dude. Sketchy, learny, dude. Watch out.
I should
Watch
explain. It's kind of cool. Like windy.com's value proposition is like, it's obviously wind data, but it's a website for all of like the people that use that data for sport. So it's for like parasailers and gliders and paratroopers, I think, and aviation. It's basically like where you go if you care about wind.
Mm,
Yeah.
windy.com. And
Yeah.
yeah, Ken will put up some B-roll. I swear to
He
God, I hope
won't.
so. Because it's beautiful. It just does. It's like, hey, if we do wind, we're just gonna have a nice map of the world with all the wind, and it's simple. You can change layers. You want wind. You want rain. You want, God forbid, a thunderstorm. A little click clack, a little rat a tat of the lightning
Yeah.
striking. Even though
Haptics.
you know it's not real lightning in the moment, but feels
Here's
really
my
good.
favorite part. It's flighty adjacent. There's also one for
Flighty.
transit. So what Flighty does really well, this is like the best designed app on the App Store. Um, I don't want to trivialize it, but everything in Flighty is free public government data around airports, flights, tail numbers. That all has to be published by the US government. What Flighty did is created a beautiful wrapper around that data and showing it to you in real time. It's the same thing with Windy. That is all government nasty, like aviationweather.gov, the whatever, NOAA, like all that stuff is publicly available in real time, but it looks like poo. And so Windy created a beautiful experience around it, one that Evan Spiegel himself, dude, you have nothing to do with the wind. And you're like sending me all these layers you're playing with.
Well, I was starting to learn. You never see the big picture. Like normally, I don't know if you watch the Weather Channel or the news, like it'll be zoomed in on your state. Not that I do any of that, but you see how the whole world fits together, and things start to make sense. You see, like for some reason, the clouds they just smack up against California, but they don't go into it. It's just like there's a bubble, there's a shield around California, and you get to see different currents. For some reason, I was looking at waves, and they're like 20-foot waves up by like Greenland area or something, Canada.
Yeah,
Like,
I forgot about surfers, swells.
Yeah.
That's in there.
and then also like the area between like Norway and Great Britain, those always have big waves. I see on Instagram, so I could see that. Don't know why, but you just see patterns.
Okay.
It fits in nice.
Okay, pattern guy. There's a Socratic level above that. So that's all like real-time patterns, which are really nice. I don't exactly know how to read this yet, but this is a Prague chart, okay? And this is what the meteorologists on the Weather Channel are doing. And the reason this is a layer even higher is because these L's and H's we see are like low pressure and high pressure. And those systems move in like very deterministic ways. So I kind of forget right now because I don't pay attention to this, but it's like it's the case where always on the side of the low pressure wave is this, and always in front of a high pressure wave is this. And in the northern hemisphere, they always kind of move in a certain direction. So you can actually get like you can know how kind of like the weather is going to shake out in the United States for the next, we're plus 54 hours right now. And you just see these pressure fronts and storms moving through. California, of course, is always perfect until it's not. But so that's 5 days out. You can just kind of see how these pressure waves, I'm going backwards, but like this low pressure wave, it just kind of rips from west to east, creating storms. So
that might have to do with the fog too.
It does, but dew point mostly.
Well, that's just a cloud. You want to know unexpected? You want to know who has, and it's kind of highly targeted, so it's not really fair, but who has the best weather data in the world? And it's not like globally; it's like very specific areas.
Trick question or real question?
It's a real question.
You trying to bamboozle me?
Might not. Like, who's incentivized to have the best weather data?
I'm gonna guess somewhere where there's an active war.
Huh. That's kind of a cool guess.
Yeah.
We could see. I don't know what the weather's like in
fog. Like that would really fuck up your front line and your drones.
I like that guess. There's even more money. Well, maybe not more money. There's a lot of money.
Oh,
here.
wait. I have more guesses. I have more guesses.
Okay.
It's probably around in an industry, right? Or a business that profits heavily off of the weather. Agriculture is top of mind. Skiing, snowboarding, winter sports. I'm going to go with my second guess being, what was the question? Who is incentivized
who has the best weather data, but then incentivized?
I'm going to go
who
with
would make
farmers.
the most money? Farmers.
Farming.
Yeah, it's probably a good guess.
They have insurance around it too.
Yeah, that was actually Friedberg's first company, I think. Wasn't it like insuring farmers? Something like that, maybe. But yeah, so this came actually from listening to a talk. I believe this was when Ken Griffin was at Yale. He gave a talk, and it turns out he had the best weather data in the world. He runs Citadel, by the way, which it's basically a hedge fund, giant hedge fund. And
we still have an episode on Citadel that didn't make it past the cutting room floor.
Oh, yeah, from 4 years ago. It was like
episode 7.
Yeah, actually. And actually revealed nothing, so probably release that. So yeah, he's basically, the big thing for them, at least what he mentioned, was energy, where in say like I forget like Germany or something where they have a bunch of wind farms generating energy. They'd want to predict the prices of energy in Germany, and so they'd have to know the exact weather and windy type patterns there. And so they bought companies, the best companies, to predict the weather in these highly specific locations. Same thing with like solar farms and such. You want to know like cloud cover, whatever it might be, and then they kind of trade on that information. So it's like, whoa, dude.
Right. So it wasn't
Didn't
the
expect
farms; it was the people making money off of
that. Right.
trading on those futures and stuff.
So kind of
That's funny.
connected, just the richer people. And that was also a cool talk. Let me think if I have any. While we're on the topic of Ken Griffin, any takeaways? Oh, his big things, like what he's worried about is kids in their 20s just don't get after it. Not enough yes men. It's more like people just moping around, not really coming to the office, grinding. He's like, dude, you just gotta front load that shit because you're never gonna have it like your 20s. Do it really hard, and then you can coast for the rest. But we get too many people kind of like me. I don't want to group you into me, but like kind of heard too much Naval and kind of been coasting. He's more like, dude, you got to really get after it. So that was cool. I probably had some more takeaways, but
yeah, we're probably like, how far are we into the season of Yes Man? Has it been 1 month or 2 months?
pretty
Probably
far.
like six to 8 weeks.
Huge fan of Yes Man, actually.
How's he doing? Yeah,
He's doing pretty well. Well, dude, what's nice? Okay, I just like my new friends that I hang out with. They're very social. So like if we went out with our college buddies, we're all kind of scared to talk to strangers. Like I'll be like the only one that does it. Here I'm like the one that's scared to do it out of these friends. Like they're pushing me.
Hey, that's a no thanks for me then. if they're beyond your, like, we always think of these like just like people on a spectrum, right? And you are if I'm on one side of the spectrum, you are on the talking to strangers side of the spectrum. If they're blowing out of your spectrum, dude, right. Off the spectrum.
No, but it's not like
that's
awkward,
crazy.
like scary.
No,
it's just like someone's next to you and you just tap them back, hey, what's that? And it's like, whoa, I'm talking to this person I didn't know. So it's a cool feeling. Yes, man. Yes, man likes it. And yeah, it's nice.
Let's not get into the sloppy span.
No, dude. My mom brought that up actually during Mother's Day. Like, what's going on with the Spaniard? Nothing, Mom. Hey, dude. I want to talk about another. I was gonna segue it earlier, but I lost the connection. I want to talk about another sick domain that I really like. Okay, and it's got bigger picture connections. I really like chess.com.
Oh,
I really like it. Right.
What's the founders of chess.com's name?
I want to say Eric. Eric
Bryant,
with a K. Right? I actually looked it up right before this, so I'd remember it. Eric Allbest, I want to say.
Okay, because that's the title of this episode. I am Eric Allbest now.
But well, we got to teach you something about SEO, but whatever. Yeah, so okay, chess.com, discovered it recently, realized our game Brain Blast is similar to chess.com in that you can play friends, you can match with random people, play them. It's kind of this intellectual game. What other connections?
You get a like ELO score, statistics, ELO blunders, checkmates. Like we're actually probably more like chess than we are, I don't know, GeoGuessr, certainly Duolingo.
Yeah, exactly. Because Duolingo, like it crushes in a lot of aspects, but it's not a real one-to-one. And I think chess.com is the closest one-to-one analogous company I found, and it crushes and it's bootstrapped. It does like at this point 150 million ARR, which makes it a unicorn company. Bootstrapped.
Question. Also domain guy, chess.com. I have a couple questions. First, I'm going to figure out revenue per employee, which is
they got 750.
So I did 600. So it's going to be like
200K.
Oh, 200K.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would be higher.
Well, you're not.
Doesn't matter. Scoreboard in Brain Blast. Was chess.com like, were they the first chess app? Or did they just
So
do it better, like in the last 5 to 10 years? Like they created a better wrapper and better experience.
hey, dude, I don't I listened to about 8 hours of his interviews yesterday, so don't you worry. Plus, I played another 8 hours of his game. My entire day. Takeaways there in a second, but this started back 20 years ago. So like 2004-ish reigns. He bought chess.com out of bankruptcy for like I don't know 65K or something. Then he started as like a forum, so it wasn't even like a game or anything like that, and it was on a website, so people would just like whatever go on and talk about chess. It got to like almost 1 million users, and then the users were like begging him for a game. They're like, hey, we're here talking about chess, can we like play chess too? And so he spun that into a website game, which still like half of the people or 40% play on the website, and most of their revenue comes from that. But then they spun up the app once obviously mobile came online like 10 years after that. And so were they the first? I guess they're like the first big one. They've had competitors, but it's a very big like network effect where they have so many users, you can just instantly find a game with anybody, and they have all these resources to dump back in. So it's basically them and this open source version of them that just kind of like copies them.
You know what's interesting about that is, I guess it gets to network effects, but like, and I'm sure I actually haven't gone in the app yet. We can play later, but like, what do I want to say? It's like very effective. They didn't create the most beautifully like rendered real time chess game. It's a 2D like kind of like poo of, but it's effective. That's like all you need.
Right.
And so it's
It
actually
gets
got
into
kind
our
of a
UX
Duolingo
versus
flair
UI.
to it, the branding.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's like,
Yeah,
if the
because
game
I'm
rips,
imagining when
doesn't
I
matter.
asked,
Sorry.
right, and if the network's there, doesn't matter. Because I just imagine, in the 20 years since, like, I'm sure someone has created a game of chess that's more visually stunning.
Right.
Maybe has 3D pawns and beautiful design, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, he was saying how like they monetize. Basically, it's free to play the game, but if you want to actually learn how to play chess better, then that costs money. That's what you subscribe to. They brought up like, well, couldn't you do like branded chess pieces or like a Harry Potter set or something, and that's like sponsored or something like
Licensed.
I don't know. Fortnite has skins and stuff like that. Can you do that for chess pieces? And he's like, dude, honestly, like real chess players, they just want the bare bones. Just give me the basics. Like that's all that matters to them. And then give me the like sick analytics and like all this stuff that they care about. So it depends on what your market is. But
I'm looking for, in like their learning courses and stuff, I'm looking for the forbidden curvy line of death.
I don't think
all the education platform. They don't.
It's a great
but I was worried. Because they've got this kind of like flat Duolingo branding, like this hot in the branding that is in.
The curvy line is the learning path that Duolingo has that a lot of apps copy now. Even like freaking Candy Crush, I think, had one of those. So, and it's cool because like basically trying to do research, like they say like just play a bunch of different popular games, and this is the one of them. So I've been trying to play it, and dude, it just instantly hooked me. Like I was like trying not to get hooked, but dude, it roped me right in. And the beauty is like I haven't subscribed yet, but I'm very close to subscribing because it kind of follows a similar pattern to our game where you get a problem wrong, like you make a bad move, and you like it's bad, you fuck up, and now you want to learn like, hey, what was I supposed to do? And like the computer will be like, oh, that was a shitty move, and then you're like, well, fucking tell me what I should have done, dude. And it's like I would never think I'd be paying for a chess app, and now I'm like, oh fuck, I want to pay, and not even for research purposes, just to fuck.
Well, you were making friends on there yesterday.
Well, yeah, well, I was hanging
it's
out
funny
with
because
a couple Poles.
We were like Polish. Oh, hang on, there's a slight lag. It's funny because we were in a meeting with developer Big J, Brain Blast developer, last week, and we were talking about this idea of like friend requests and making friends with strangers online. And my 2 cents was like, I never got a friend request in Call of Duty and like accepted it and stayed in touch with that person. And you were kind of like, well, sometimes I would, like if we were similar
Or like
skills or if they were really
all my
good.
friends, I didn't really know. I only had like 5 friends, but you'd have to wait till they're online. You like get out of school and you'd come online for like 2 hours after school before dinner time. So you knew when your buddies were syncing up. But then if you wanted to play at like midnight, your buddies aren't online. So then you go make other buddies, like my polls and chess app. And you start
Well, yeah,
jamming.
and
And it's
to
got
my
hot mic.
surprise, you're
Yeah.
what? You were you voice chatting in
Well,
chess.com? Or like
a
how
couple
do you make a
surprises,
friend?
dude. And the thing I like about this is like we'll just take all of these learning and just port it right over to Brain Blast. But like, okay, one surprise. I don't care about friends in the game. I actually have friends, but I don't want to play them because they're a lot better than me. So I know I'm just gonna get smoked. And it's like, okay, I'd rather just play random people that are my skill level. And it's actually like when it's figuring out what my skill level is, it'll kind of swing pretty wildly of who you get paired up with. So I got paired up with better people, and I fucking hated it. I closed out the app instantly. So I'm like, oh, it's really important that playing with randos, they got to be the same skill level. He actually said like, if it's the same skill level, you're gonna like ideally win 50% of the time, lose 50% of the time. People really want to like win 80% of the time, but it's like still fun regardless.
I was gonna say,
Fuck, so
even if you're studying with yourself, I think we talked about it on the pod, but like the sweet spot of studying that we need to nail is getting a student to be in flow. And in
right.
the flow state hits where you're basically like you're gaining the momentum of getting a lot of easy problems right, but you're right at the kind of like precipice of your skill level. And so every 10, 20, 30% of the time, you're getting something that's just outside of your grasp. If you can figure that thing outside your grasp out, it feels amazing. And if you can't, you kind of go back to the easy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like similarly, if we only gave an easy student like the hardest math problems, they're out of Brain Blast and on TikTok immediately.
Right. Right.
You
So I
have to
think
meet people where they're at.
that matching is totally doable. It gets kind of tricky with how does that go into predictive SAT score and stuff. Maybe we have to go more of an ELO system. Don't want to scare you there. But there's just like a lot of dynamics. But basically, point is like you want to have everything doable. And here, competing against a guy, a couple of surprises. One, obviously, I'd end up like just going onto the app and then
Fireworks,
playing for.
dude.
Yeah. Well, I gotta put my thumbs down. I'd play for hours, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What would happen is I'd go and play against someone similar skill level, and then I'd be up, and then I'd somehow lose because I don't know end game. So I'd lose in the end, and I'd blunder, and I get really pissed, and then I rematch him, and so I just keep rematching the same people, and they're like, dude, I'm getting easy points with this guy. So we'd end up rematching a lot. So I'd play like on average the same person like 3 times. And then you start to develop a little rapport. I'm like, oh, fuck me, dude. Just blundered my queen. And he's like, gotcha, dude. And I'm like, oh, I'm a clown, but watch out for this. And now I'm just chatting up with Yannis in Poland and India and God knows where because it's like, 2 a.m. And I was just having a good time. So I didn't expect the rematches. I didn't expect wanting to actually chat with these people. And then I wanted to, by the end of it, friend request them. I was a little upset they didn't friend request me. And I didn't really know how to. Hold on. What else? I got sucked in. So, okay.
You've always been a chess nut. I would come out of the apartment I was sleeping on the floor, you, me, and our friend David. I'd like come out of my floor bed and you guys would be like half naked at 7 a.m, like sweating over the kitchen counter playing chess. You would just do that.
Something
I
about
never liked chess.
Well, it feels like you can get better fast. Well, you're also different. Like you're not super competitive, I guess. I think if you got like a competitive routine and you start losing to someone who you know is dumber than you, it really pisses you off. Or like whatever. And I think the cool thing about chess is it's super lindy. Like it's just been around for. We're in Turkey and Istanbul, and they had like the king's chess set, and it was from like 700 years ago. Or not the king, what do they call it? The sultan. So really, they're gonna crush, and they're gonna crush for a while. They have a sick moat, and people never churn. Hold on. Oh, what was interesting is they found they're not a huge data-driven company. They just kind of go with vibes. But they
I
were
like
saying
that.
that, yeah, well, they also under-monetize compared to Duolingo a lot. And there's probably a lot of pros and cons. But he was saying how if you come into the chess app as a beginner and you play your first game, if you win that game, you're 4 times as likely to stick around and keep playing the chess app versus someone that loses the first game. It's like, oh, like we didn't realize the magnitude. It's probably going to be the same with us of like, you really got to win that first game, and that's going to get people stoked with Brain Blast.
Or even just like be able to solve the first 3 problems. You just need that crack high of like, I'm really good at this.
Right.
And I can do this.
Yeah.
If you come into our app and are immediately given the hardest problem on the SAT, you're gone. It's the worst feeling.
Right. So
it's the same way the SAT is structured. Like the first 5 we took the SAT, the first 5, actually the whole first module, we're like, we are gods. Whole really second module, worst feeling in the world.
Right. So they've been trying to like figure out, because you want to get into the app and like ideally you're playing like someone random, like a real person, but for it to be fun for both sides, like there's got to be equal chance that you're going to win or lose. So they've gone in the direction of like pushing people towards playing a bot first or some sort of coach first so that you can get those easy W's. So we'll probably be somewhat similar there in the onboarding. But I also like they just have the same game modes too, where it's like you can play async chess. So that's just like you play and then you pass the turn over to the other person and it goes back and forth. But like, again, I don't use that. I just care about like, I want to play now. I'm in the app. Give me like an unlimited playing time and I can just play for hours if I get really hooked. So I think sort of our mindset shift is my bet, at least, is I think the sync play will be by far the most important. Like it'll be 10x as important as the async play versus we were kind of wagering async. Largely, the irony is because of the cold start problem. We thought that it'd be hard to get enough people online to be playing sync. So let's start with the async thing because it's easier. But the problem with async is you got to get all your friends online so that you can play people because you don't really want to play async with random people. So it's actually less of a cold start problem to just go with the network of live playing, largely because bots will also help there.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? I'm like, they lean. I don't think this would be unique to chess, but they lean into. It literally says play a bot.
Yeah,
and people do that.
Well, what's cool is
like
you
they
can
don't
play...
shy away from the fact that you're playing the computer.
And they said so. Once if you hit play a bot on the app, you'll go against like celebrities. So they'll like do partnerships with Mr. Beast or
oh yeah,
a bunch of different creators. Mark Rober.
So yeah, right now it's like it says the Heist Crew. Is that from like a movie or something? The Heist, the driver, or I don't know. But then there's athletes. There's like Justin Reed, Larry Fitzgerald Jr., Jaylen Brown. That's kind of funny.
And well, they'll try and partner with those people, and those people are incentivized to promote chess on their channels. And so I don't even know if there's like money being exchanged. It's
Mr.
like, hey, we're going to give you a
Beast,
character.
Ludwig, Pokimane.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's like, wow,
Mark
we could do that same model with our Derd characters in the future potentially. And also one of their funniest characters. Basically, they had like the very best chess bots in the game. They made a super cute kitten that they called Mittens, and so people were just getting slapped by Mittens, and they just eat it up, and they like screenshot and send it to their friends, like just getting destroyed by Mittens.
Is Mittens still there?
Not sure. This is maybe a year or two ago on the podcast.
You could play the Mechanical Turk. Oh
yeah.
Oh no, Sonic Fox.
I just think it's so like we can just copy so much of what they've done.
How'd you get on this really kick?
No, just. How do I find chess? I don't know. I've been really trying to figure out like what are the most analogous apps to ours so we can kind of study them and play them. I got sick of Candy Crush. I'm like, this isn't intellectual. Duolingo is not multiplayer, and then chess. I don't know. Just kind of
Did like ChatGPT tee it up or something?
Maybe. Huh.
Garden!
Oh, nice. That was in sync.
I'm playing Mark Rober. You can do anything if you set your mind to it and work hard. God damn, dude. It's such a... What do you do? You're booting back up?
I don't know. You kept talking. I wasn't sure.
Well, I'm playing Mark Rober, and I was saying, like, it's just such an... If we always think... I think less so now, especially when, like, you and I are working closely together. But we often think, maybe as artists, maybe as creatives, like, what would it look like if it were hard? What would it look like if it were perfect? And I was just saying, like, so I'm in this game with a bot, and it's just Mark Rober, like, Bitmoji face with a dialogue bubble.
Yeah.
It's just if it were easy. It's just AI. That's not Mark Rober.
Right.
It's AI.
I don't know how
often
often
in a bubble
they're actually used. But I really liked the coach and his bubble. And I'm pissed I ran out of lessons. And that's why I want to upgrade, because the lessons are really cool. But it's literally just a little chat bubble.
So,
I mean, granted, the AI is going to be good to figure it out. But I don't think, like...
Right. All right. I'm going to play this coach, and I'm going to go novice.
Play the coach.
And I'm playing... Nadia is my coach.
Hey, screen record.
And she says, I'll take the black pieces. Good luck. All right. I'll screen record. 3, 2, 1, go. So she's black. I'm white. So I move my pawn. Is that the Queen's Gambit? Oh, she said, you're grabbing the center. I approve. And then she did a fun, tricky way to start by putting her knight on N. I don't know how this works. All right, dude. I'm going to move my boom bishop. Oh, whoa. Wait. I did the Trumpowski. Is that real or what is that?
Yeah, they got so many openings.
She said the Trumpowski is a modern way of sidestepping a lot of openings. I think that's a neg. I think I did the complete wrong thing.
Yeah.
She's like, you sidestepped all the normal openings.
Well, yeah. Usually you do pawns first.
Well, I moved one pawn, and then I moved my bishop all the way out there.
Nice.
The Trumpowski. Trumpowski. All right, dude, I hate chess. I just don't know anything. Then. Yeah, okay, so I took her knight. Oh, and she took my bishop with a queen. She's not coaching me. Oh, I could ask for a hint? Okay, I'll ask for a hint. Pawns need to get off their starting squares to open up the board for your bishops. Is that how you think? Trying to open the board for your bishops?
Yeah, well, she taught me. I got a dude. I don't know how you get a chick.
Nadia. You and your genders.
Well,
like she's different from your dude coach.
Well, no, that's what they were saying actually. Like, it's the Mark Rober. You can make your bot more aggressive or like play in funky styles, so they actually have personalities to them.
Dude, I think that's why I tend to win chess sometimes. Is you can't place me. You can't, and this is what drives my brother crazy about like playing poker with friends. Like none of us play like the odds or the probabilities like you're supposed to, but my brother is, and he doesn't factor in any wild card fudge factor.
Right, you got to.
And so then he gets mad at all of us for being wild cards, and we're like, "What'd you expect? We're wild cards."
You know the Elon Musk poker story, right?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I don't know if it was like PayPal Mafia or who was playing poker, but Elon was at the table. And how do you think he plays poker?
Elon?
Yeah.
Wild card.
Yeah. At any decent hand, he goes all in.
Yeah.
Just right out the gate. And you're like, what the fuck is this? All in. Every time. Just like, how do we play against this guy? Everyone is just cleaning up like antes and stuff. And it's just the same.
Right. He's just
they got all these models, and he's like, dude, I go all in. Fuck it.
Oh, okay. That was interesting. I tried to make a move, but I got check, so it gave me a hint that started flashing red, like I got to move my king.
Well, I don't want to force you to play chess. I just when you're
Yeah, I
fucking
hate
things
chess.
up and it's like, hey, that's not the best move here, and then you can kind of go back and then like redo it. It's just it was a really nice learning experience, and I can see when we have AI in our app eventually, that will be a huge piece. One thing, basically, I think it's a really good North Star as a feeling of like our app does not yet feel like I felt with chess, where I'm just like, I cannot go to bed because I need to play. Fuck, what was his name, dude? My best friend, Neek 1 1 2 10, Neek 1 2 10. I cannot go to bed until I beat him, and like that is just how it goes. And I'm gonna keep rematching him till it's 5 a.m. So that's I'm chasing that feeling. We don't quite have it.
Is that what you
with
did?
async yet? Yeah, started smoking them, dude. I was getting good. Just figuring out my stuff.
Were you playing into the wee hours, or you gave up?
Oh yeah, it was like 3 a.m. or something.
Gardeloo!